Well, the president went ahead and did exactly what I said he shouldn't do, impose sanctions on Russia, and I hate picking on him because he's doing great on all the other fronts, domestic and foreign. I think he expected so much from the meeting in Alaska and from the other discussions on the back channels, and when nothing came out of it, he lost his patience and went ahead and bullied the Russians into submission. Putin said he can't be pressured into ending the war, and I understand because Ukraine was acting as Cuba in the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the Russians felt like they need to invade it in order to protect their own country. Of course, this wouldn't have happened if Trump was president, just like he keeps reminding us, because the Russians wouldn't have had the reasons to do it. But as things are, they believe they are in the right to do what they did. Now, why didn't the talks lead to a ceasefire? Because they didn't reach a solution both parties could accept. Kiev doesn't want to make certain concessions, and the Russians said there can be a ceasefire without a peace agreement because that would only give the Ukrainians time to regroup and rearm. President Trump felt humiliated by this public failure and decided to retaliate. Wrong move. His ego was hurt, but you see, he's not called by God to be the president of the world. He's only the president of America. In foreign affairs, if he can promote peace, he should rather do nothing, abstain from involvement completely, rather than make things worse. In 6 months from now, he predicted a strangled Russian economy, but the Russians will do just fine, while the Ukrainian defenses will fall one after another and the Ukrainian people will be close to extermination. Putin held back a lot from taking over Ukraine, hoping for a peace agreement, but now that's not on the horizon anymore, so he'll let the dogs loose. Hopefully things will not escalate to a larger scale. And you know what? God is on his side. Now, some people say that the sanctions are just a smokescreen, that the president is really on Russia's side. I don't believe so. I think he got too big for his shoes and thought he can police the Russians into obedience. As I said before, the Russians will rather blow out the whole world and stop the war before they get whatever they need in order to feel safe within their borders. Sometimes I wonder if Zelensky even cares about the Ukrainian people. He's not Ukrainian by ethnicity. He's only a puppet of the Davos crowd. He should have made peace a long time ago with Putin. So now that you crossed the Rubicon, what's the solution? You call Putin and say you made a mistake, but in the public eyes you can't retract the sanctions, so the only thing you can do is balance the scales and sanction the other side too. Stop selling guns to Ukraine, stay out of it completely. If you can't do good, do nothing rather than make things worse. Let them fight each other. If you're forced by NATO to get involved, get out of NATO. Otherwise, you'll have blood on your hands. Why am I talking about all this? I just felt led to put it out there into the ether. There is a verse in Romans 12, do not think more highly of yourself than you ought to. It speaks of having the right perspective about yourself. Don't be insecure, but don't be vain and arrogant either. And in Philippians 2, when Paul says, count others better than yourself, the right translation is consider others more important than yourself, meaning prioritize them. But when it comes to self-image, we should always remember that pride comes before fall, as King Solomon the Wise said. And in case you wondered, I'm not Russian, I'm Romanian and a Christian first, doing my bit to make the world a better place.